I thought some music would set the tone correctly. What is up, everybody? Before we get into it, and hello everybody in the chat. Wow, already 20 people watching. That is very interesting indeed. All right, before we get into it, I want to do two things real quick. First off, I want to say this. July 28th, 2021, no problem, Snowman, was the day that honestly brought me back in here, brought me back on here. I was enjoying my self-imposed as well as exile from the community. I was actually enjoying myself. Most people were starting to move on, all that good stuff. But there was one individual that decided to not leave well enough alone and decided to have the final say on Hangman Charlie. Yes, I did, Dragon. It was hilarious. And so I've been trying to get this individual to come out of hiding for the last 2 years. And we will see if all of that couldn't do it. But the idea of me being gone would be the icing on the cake to finally get this person to come out of hiding. And of course, I'm referring to Jmanzlegit, Jordan Little, what have you, Jordy Scowl, the young blood outsider, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The person that is, of course, the name of this video. So, before I put the link out, and I will explain to everybody what that will mean, I want to give my final thoughts on the whole Adam thing. Because this was originally what the stream was going to be about, that and then along with this stuff. Hello, Cherry. I got to make sure you're a mod, but I believe you are. But I want to double check. Because I've got everything ready. I've got my Hot Pocket Chicken Bacon Ranch. I've got my, what do you call it? I've got my cigarettes. I've got my drink. I've got a lot of things ready. But before we go into it, let me make sure real quick. Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure. Regarding to Adam, there's not much more I can say about it. I could go on and on and on. The damage has been done on his end. And honestly, after a few days of thought, I came to the conclusion that I'd be mad at somebody when they lost control. You know, they lost control and they just made an ass out of themselves. There are a few people that, you know, have stuck to their guns and not gone that way. I respect that. So why be mad at someone? Like, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push. And push a man too far, he's going to do some crazy things. I can relate to that. So, at the end of the day, I don't hate Adam. But I just thought, give my final thoughts because, again, this could be the final time. And just to reiterate, this is going to be the final time if he does show up. And I'm referring to Steel Joker line. Yeah, you bet your ass I did. Final time I'm going to appear on here, on anybody's streams, chats, whatever. Basically, Mr. Money's stream that was on last night may have been the final time you will see me on somebody else's stream. I just didn't make a big hoopla about it. So, with that being said, we are going to get to the 1 hour mark. And then give him enough time to show up. It is 9:07 right now, so we'll make it to 10:07. And we shall see. Actually, before I do that, we'll reset the time in a moment. But I want to do something real quick. I want to give the people watching an opportunity to interact one last time, possibly. We are going to put up a poll. We're going to put up a poll. Nothing malicious. I also, if the individual shows up, I do have a few questions to get clarified, if you will. So let me do this poll real quick, and then we will get into the main event. Will Jordan show up? DH actually kind of stole my thunder on that. And yes, I made him a mod because if this is the last time, why the hell not? All right. The poll is up, or it should be. Let's find out. Yep, it is. So we shall see. And all right. So 28 people. Goddamn. This takes me back to Hangman Outcast days. Now, a few ground rules before we go in. The link will be in the chat, but it will only be for Mr. Jordan. It will not be for anybody else. It will not be for his mother. It will not be anybody on his side. This is a straight-up one-on-one confrontation. If I see anybody in the chat, friend, foe, whatever, they will be kicked. Not banned, all that good stuff. They will be booted from this stream. And they will be booted until I decide, which most likely if he shows up, if he leaves, then people could come in if they so choose. But if he does show up after this stream is over, this channel and my troll channel will be gone. Not hidden, deleted. And all that good stuff. So, besides that, there are really no ground rules. It's going to be all-out warfare. So, I want to make that perfectly clear before I do that because, and again, no offense to anybody, and also, like I said, to Mr. Little, if he does come in, him and him alone. Because one thing I used to notice from his days ranting on people would be like he always needs help with something, whether it's his mother, whether it's myself, whether it's he's in the chat, Phenomenal One, whether it was Romy, whether it's whoever. He's always needed help. This time he could finally man up and do and vanquish me or not on his own if he does show up. So before I put the link in, I like to build anticipation. Very respectable 19 votes, 37% say yes, and 63% say no, 60% say, what do you call it? No, and 40% say yes. So very back and forth. I will give it that. And we'll see. We shall see. But now the link is going to be put in the chat again until I give the go. Nobody else joined this stream. They will be booted post haste. And let me pin the link. And if anybody is friend, if for some reason, because I know we have each other blocked, if anybody is friendly with Mr. Little, by all means, send him the link. But I'm sure if I pin it, they'll be able to. Trust me, I've been in certain streams where I've been blocked or I blocked them and I can still go in. So we shall see. We will sit here and wait. Is this legitly him? Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, it took no less than a couple, like barely a minute. But he got his balls from his mother's purse and has graced us with his presence. So, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the impeccable Jordy Scow or James Legit. He has like a nickname and all that, but let's let him in. By God is right, DH. Everything I've said about him didn't work, but the idea of me leaving is what finally got him in. Funny. All right, let's go.
Took you long enough.
Oh, I like to build anticipation.
You know, building anticipation is one thing, but getting on other people's nerves, just waiting is what really gets them driven crazy.
Well, I like my audience. I like to give them what they want and build, you know. Is it a wrestling terminology or what's the phrase I'm looking for? Isn't it building a storyline, if you will?
Well, you're the one that made the stream and you're writing the story along with me. I'm already here. The thing is, I'm not here because if I showed up, you'd leave. I'm just here just to get this over with so that way we can move on with our lives. So whatever it is you got to say, let's get it out there so that way we can live peaceful lives. You don't bother me. I don't bother you, which is exactly what I have been doing.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody's shocked, but I'm glad. So of all the times I've ever called you out, I'll have a few questions before we get into the thing. Of all the times that I've called you out, what was the reason now? Of all the other times, like me talking about your brother, me talking about like your mom, your dad, whatever. But the idea of me leaving is finally what made you come in.
Because I knew what you were trying to do. You were trying to trigger me just for all the times you see, you can mention my mom. I'm not gonna lie. My mom has never been a saint, but at least she knows how to do one thing, and that's be a loving mother. And as for my father, he has nothing to do with this, and you knew about that from the get-go. So again, this just proves one thing, that you will stoop so low because you're nothing more than a chicken shit to do whatever it takes to get under my skin or anybody's skin, whether it be living or dead. And as for my brother, just so we're clear, you know as well as I do that I have suffered after the last 3 years. And the fact that you want to keep hitting and pushing and pushing and pushing just proves you really want someone to beat your ass. Because if we didn't live in separate, areas, there would be a fight breaking out right now. But if we did live in the same area, you wouldn't be streaming right now. You'd actually be in the hospital. But guess what? No violence, no physical contact, because that's the way you love to play your game. And besides, it doesn't matter who you go after as long as you get under their skin. So you finally got what you wanted, Chayton. Congratulations.
I know, and no matter what, this is going to be the funniest part. No matter what, by hook or by crook, by the end of the stream, you will forever be known as a hypocrite. I knew
it. I called it. I knew you were going to say that. Why?
Hey, I can admit I'm a hypocrite.
No. Why is it I'm a hypocrite? Is it because I said along the lines of, I don't know. I said I'll never be on a live stream with you. However, that would be on other panels, not when you're hosting one. There is a difference.
You always got to find an excuse, don't you?
Oh, no, it's not an excuse. I mean, just think of it, Chayton. You have had every opportunity to try and interact with me, and I've ignored you from time to time. But hey, it's okay. I mean, like I said, you finally got what you wanted. This is what you wanted, right? I mean, look at the views. You got like over almost 30 people watching, and you just had to tag my name in there. I mean, you really wanted this to happen, and I'm just, right here just to see that you have your final moment, like you said you wanted.
Oh, yes. As it began with you and me, it ends with you and me. Very poetic.
I find it very saddening, to be honest with you.
Elaborate.
Okay. You see, I don't know if you know about this, but let me like give everybody here a history lesson. You see, 3 years ago, we did a Hangman Outcast episode, and it was the very first time you and me did something together. And you know what happened? You know what those two bitches tried to do? They tried to silence you. They tried to silence me. They tried everything. But you know what? We proved that not a couple of females who are typically one-sided and very, thick-headed cannot silence people like us. And that was the first time you and me ever did something together. And at least back then, we weren't at odds back then as we are now.
Oh, I agree. Let's see. ZTB says wild bitch as well. Actually, that brings me to something. I actually want to, bring that up. And thank you, DH. To anybody blocking people in the chat, don't do that. If I need to make anybody else mods, I will. Just FYI. Just because if you don't like anybody doesn't mean you have to mod anybody or block anybody.
Yeah.
Trying to be fair here. That's why I made DH a mod. At least give it an even playing field, if you will. So ZTB brings a question regarding all this. Okay, two things. One, I will not bring the individual's name out of respect, but I recalled in your video where you basically defended somebody. I won't say his name because I've said my piece at the beginning of the stream. You say that you don't lie. Is that correct?
Never said that I didn't lie, but what's your point?
You said I would play it, but you probably delete the video, or you try to copyright claim the video, so I can't, all that good stuff.
Okay, that's the funny thing. I remember someone saying that I false flag you. No. You see, Chayton, had you asked me for permission to use a clip of my video, I could have said yes. Maybe if you added please, but you know what the answer is going to be given our history.
Well, yeah, and I was going to ask, even if I were to ask you, how would I?
Exactly. So then again,
that's what I'm saying. So therefore, it was at that point. Go ahead.
What would be the point of you using my stuff when you know I'm not going to allow it? And besides, you know how I found out that you did? Well, one, someone told me and gave me a clip, just a clip of it, then sent me the link to where your stream was at, and the rest was history. I did it all myself.
I'll give you a what do you call it? Clap that you finally did something on your own. Besides right now. Clap.
Oh yeah, you can keep clapping with, like as if you were in golf, but guess what? This ain't no joke to me. I'm only on here so that way we can put an end to this once and for all. I don't want you, to be honest with you, I don't really care if you do leave or not after this is over. You know why? Because all I want to do is get on with my freaking life.
I could see that. Now, back to the question I had originally when you said something about like you being a truthful individual. Let me ask you, when last year, when you were basically going after ZTB and all that for everything, actually it's a two-parter. First thing is, of course, you didn't tell him that me and a certain individual were talking. So wouldn't that be, especially since ZTB and you, as far as I know at that time, were considered friends. So wouldn't that be a form of dishonesty?
First of all, he never once asked me what's going on between you and the individual. And second of all, why would it be any of his business knowing that if it was regarding legal, stuff, it shouldn't be leaked out for other people to know because it's between you and that individual. And on top of that, you guys had only been talking for a couple of months, not years.
Funny that you bring that up when you were talking about like certain things going on behind the scenes that shouldn't be. Then explain other, like, you know, the medical stuff that was leaked out, this, that, and the third. So explain like how that was everybody's, but me and her talking, that wasn't nobody's business, because I guess it would hurt the narrative that you and others were trying to spew.
First of all, about the medical stuff, I didn't know anything about that. And besides, I couldn't have cared less if you got your medical, records pointed, in the public, because if anything, they're all public records. Okay?
No, like, to be fair, no, they weren't. Like, I'll give everybody a challenge. Go on Google, whatever. Look up Chait Long's medical records or medical history. I don't think you'd find that, because let me finish.
But within court
let me finish.
records,
let me
court
finish.
records say otherwise, Chayton.
Let me finish. The medical, like the stuff that was shown, only really two people had copies of those said medical records. One being myself, and the other one, well, you know who.
You could say her name, because I wouldn't care less. To be honest.
No, I know, but I just want to be,
look here. You're the almighty Chayton Long. This is the house of Chayton. You shouldn't be scared to say one person's name.
I ain't scared. Well, okay. Then what's been your excuse for the last couple of years?
My excuse for the last couple of years?
Not saying my name at all.
It's just showing that I was actually going to move on in my life and be professional.
And me not mentioning could be the same thing.
Well, actually, I would beg to differ, because you have done a lot of shit talking, and to be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff that you have said even way after I had been done mentioning you and all that other stuff. But hey, you know what? Nobody's an innocent victim in all this in your story, Chayton. I mean, nobody's going to get a happy ending. But at the end of the day, nobody wins either.
Elaborate on that. Curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Dude, you think you leaving YouTube is a win for me? No. Because what do I win anyway? A grand prize? What? I get a trip to Disney World? You leaving YouTube is just one less person being on YouTube. I mean, you're making that choice, not me. I'm not the one who specifically said, if Jordan shows up on my stream, I will leave YouTube. That's what you said. But then again, I don't know if you'll leave YouTube, because you have constantly, lied so many times, I can't even count on one freaking hand anymore. But then again, who cares?
Go ahead.
Who cares if you do leave or not? I mean, the thing is, all I was ever wanting was just to do my thing, move on with my life, and do what comes naturally.
So I guess part two of my question regarding that whole thing with ZTB, correct me if I'm wrong, because ZTB has said this. Didn't you tell him once he was allowing me on his streams, that you told him that if you didn't do that, like if you did that, there would be dire consequences?
The dire consequences meaning that some people would turn on him. I never once made a threat to harm him or his life.
Did you explain the turning on, or you said there'd be dire consequences?
Honestly, it could have been the first one, but then again, who cares? I mean, why should he be threatened by what I had to say? I mean, if he wanted to keep bringing you in, I mean, that was fine. But guess what? He would be losing some people in the process.
Now, before I continue, to Jay, do not hide people, please. I do not that it matters, but I do not want to remove your modship. if you will.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but still, here's what I want you to know. You see, you said that you and that other individual have the records, right?
Elaborate. You said records, right? You're like all that. So
yeah, the records, your medical records.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, the thing is, it isn't just a based on internet record. You can call a courthouse. So again, I mean, that's how I think some other people got a hold of it.
Well, to kind of debunk that, see, where is it? Just FYI on that.
Yeah, there you go. And there you go right there too.
But earlier you also admitted that, you didn't care about, medical records. So even
I was giving you a history lesson, Shaden.
You were giving a history lesson?
Yeah. So that way you'll learn in life that not everything is as protective as you may think. Because again, that's only if it's happened in a court of law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people, stop timing out people. Lauren, Jay, all that.
If you're annoyed by other people timing other people out, why not just take all the wrenches away? And because, I mean, I'm not even paying attention to the chat.
I know. I'm just trying to make sure everybody, has the thing. Now, let's see. Garner wrenches. All right. So, with that, another question I have regarding all this is that what led you, knowing that basically everything was said and done about me back then, what led you to make that stream when even people that were your friends at one point were telling you that was kind of a moot point, excuse me.
Don't you mean meaningless?
I could say it like that too, but yeah, I understand your vocabulary is not as sufficient as mine, but
you don't have to sound smart in order to be smart, man.
It's not that I'm sounding smart, it's just,
I'm just telling you, dude. I mean, if you really want me to answer the question, just ask me directly of what certain words do you want to use, whether it's moot or meaningless. Take your pick. We got more.
Yes, moot point.
So, the thing is, you had done a couple of streams on me before you had left initially. I figured, why not? Because after all, I'd get my side of the story out there, and you know what? I would actually move on for good. But then again,
So even after everything was done, I was gone, all that good stuff. Things were said, yada, yada, yada. I was gone. Yeah. And then you still made it.
I still made it. And you know what? Just like when I thought I was gone, you still made yours.
Yeah. Yeah, but think of in the butterfly effect sense that if you didn't want to, or if you didn't make that stream and you just left it be. Now, who knows? I could have came back eventually. We never know. We'll never know. But actually, hypothetically.
You were going to come back.
How'd you know? How would you know that?
Because it wasn't that long ago until, what's that guy's name? Sean's View would make you a general manager.
So that would have led me to come back because I even have told people that even I knew what the profit was on his end. So I didn't take the bait.
I mean, either way.
And it was right after I think the first interview, if you will. So that was what do you call it? What's the best way I could describe it? The whole situation regarding that was right after the interview and after a few other, maybe one or two streams that happened. And I was still gone for a good amount of time after that.
the end of the day, you were coming back regardless, Jaden. I mean, it's your choice. It doesn't matter if I made a video on you or not. And it doesn't matter if you had made 10 or 20,000 videos of me. At the end of the day, you would have come back. You know why? Because you're relentless.
Oh, you have one point. I am relentless.
See, that was the one thing. Okay? That was the one thing that I liked about you. But then again, now I don't know whether to like it or respect it. But in the end, at least you're relentless as always.
Yeah, and I will give you credit for finally having a set of balls and finally coming in here. So I will at least give you that. You've done the one thing that not a lot of people thought you would.
Yeah. And guess what? 67 of those votes you said I wasn't going to show up. Wrongo.
So I guess my next question regarding this, a lot of debate in the chat. I like it.
Yeah, well, last time we had a debate on your channel, it didn't end so well. Well, behind the scenes, but that's a different story.
What was it? The Kevin Nash debate was something else?
It was something else, Jaden.
Ah, okay. Was that really a debate? I think I know what you're talking about. I'm assuming you're referring to that one stream when you left for a little bit.
If you can't remember the debate I'm referring to, then you might as well keep going right now because I'm just.
Unlike you and others, I don't remember every bit of detail that goes on here because I have a life.
Well, the thing
unlike a lot of people in that say I don't.
Okay. Well, then again, there's always rotten brain cells. I mean, everyone has them, including me.
Yes, and receding hair.
Hey, guess what? I kind of like it. I kind of like the receding hairline.
At least if you're going for the Macho Man or Hulk Hogan look when you become a wrestler, that at least you at least have that part going for you.
You should try it sometime. It'll do wonders for you.
Oh, believe it or not, I did cut my hair for a little bit of time.
No. I'm not talking about cutting your hair. Like, who wants to cut their hair? No, I'm talking about having a bald spot.
No, because to me, I at least give you some credit. You have a harder time to make it work than others. Me, all I gotta do is wet it, slick it back, maybe put some gel in it. You have to do the comb over, or you just leave it be, or whatever else.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, at least I can make it work. I mean, but then again, how would you make it work, huh? Like, then again, you wouldn't, like comb it back. No, you just try to, spray paint, I bet.
No, not spray paint. I would just shave it because, less work for me.
That's the thing. You would want to shave it all off, but not embrace it.
Well, I've had people tell me that I look good with a bald head, so it wouldn't be a bad thing, to be quite fair with you. Justin, when I shaved it back in December, it was actually nice. I don't have to worry about hair for a little bit, and number two, I was still getting complimented, which was the first time a lot of people see me with a shaved, bald, whatever you want to call it, head in probably 5 years.
Yeah, and you probably got catch cold after that too. So, but then again, it was flu season in that month.
Yeah, well, I will say this towards Eric. No one has to respect. See, all of you respect me and Jordan. No one has to respect you, Eric. I'm just going to be fair with that.
Just so we're clear, I'm not saying everyone should respect Eric, but the guy's been through enough as it is.
Oh, that brings up something. I want to take issue with this. Whenever you've talked about losing loved ones, again, I'm going to be fair here. I'm not going to go too low on you. But how always you've acted, right? How always you've acted, where you've acted like, where you've talked about your loss and all that. You act like you're the only one who has suffered loss in your life of loved ones or whatever. Just how you present yourself on here when you mope and cry, whine, whatever.
I'm not moping and crying now, but your point.
Oh no, you're not. I'm just saying in general.
Your point.
My point regarding all that is that there are a lot of us who have had loved ones,
Yeah.
this, that, and the third. Like
And
I myself
and
have
I
lost
hate that.
3 people. Let me finish.
I said I hate that for you.
You hate what?
I hate that for you, that you've had to lose loved ones. I mean, who doesn't want to lose loved ones?
Yeah, and this is not a storyline or bullshit or anything like this. I've lost 2 people that I will say that were meant something to me, and then one person that, unfortunately, due to him not being around as much, didn't really have that much heartfelt with that. Now, first was my grandmother, my grandfather, who honestly was more of a father than my than my own father, and then my father. Actually, next month or June, that's how irrelevant my father was to me, is that I'll remember the dates of, let's say, my grandmother or my grandfather to a T. My father, however, all I know is it's the 10-year anniversary in either in a month or 2 or 3. I can't, again. But what do you call it? Let's see. Take that cheap shot. Well, I'll explain this whole thing. It is not the fact, and Jordan can hear this too. Everybody that was continuously going after me, and at one point, I'm not going to lie, I deserve the heat. I deserve the hate. I'm not going to fucking deny that it was an entire pity party for fucking, pity party for the entire time. There was a point in time where, yeah, I deserved the heat I was getting, the hate I was getting, what have you. I full-heartedly agree. But to most of the people that I've had issues with who went on, either we've been able to talk behind the scenes or we've been able to, sell things on air, what have you. But when the whole situation came out, as I've called it, my redemption arc, if you will, and all that stuff happened. And even people like DH, me and him have had discussions in the past, and we've not cursed each other out. We've actually been cordial with each other. We've been able to at least coexist and not hate on each other.
That's good. I mean, that's fine. I mean, like,
I did ask multiple times. I even tried to have a private conversation in the past, not for us to be, and we're not referring to you, Mom Bear, but we're referring to the man next to me, to have a private conversation. So that way, we could air everything out privately and we could go from there. And to the people, there are people in the chat that I have just talked to ask to try to set up a private call with somebody moderating it. That way it doesn't get too heinous, if you will. So my issue with everything is everybody, whether they feel justified in what they did or not, we've been able to have conversations and at least move forward. We may not be friends, we may not like each other, we may not do this, but at least we can have those times. Hell, I'll give Mama Bear some credit. She's been able to contact me in the past. I will give her that. There was a point in time before I changed my number, I gave her my phone number. So I'm not going to say that she hasn't in the past. Now, regarding, and DH, of course, we've talked. Kevin and I, we've talked. Other people, we've talked. ZTB and me had a private conversation regarding all this other stuff. But the one person that I always wanted to have a conversation, and again, I was wanting to have it behind the scenes. And who knows, even if we had the conversation and then I would still feel like I didn't, and everything could have ended up the way it is right now. But again, I at least wanted to try. Because everybody else I've been able to have some type of thing, but the only individual that I did not, who I felt basically after everything didn't go his way, he ran off like a coward. Therefore, it all came to this. So that is the reason. Like, and I'll be honest, I did take pot shots to get a rise out because I wanted that old Jmanzlegit to come out of hiding. I remember when you accused me of being behind fake accounts or whatnot. You did a stream called "Come Out of Hiding," right? And part of me wanted to go in there, but then I was like, no, because then you'll just automatically think it's me, regardless of if I say it isn't or not. Therefore, I was like, I'm not taking the bait.
Wait a minute. Hold up a second. So you're meaning to tell me you would have came in there and you thought I was gonna automatically think it was you?
You did say in that stream to the person that comes in, to whoever, you basically point out it's
Chayton,
only for the person who did that.
Chayton, I got 3 trolls that night. I don't care if it was you. In fact, I had my suspicions, but then again, it can change over the years, man. It could have been you. It could not have been you. And if you had showed up, maybe I could have gotten your side of the story. Maybe you'd be telling the truth, but then again, you could be lying. At the end of the day, you had a chance to come on there, but then again, you chose to back out. So what does that make you?
Well, it could have been the fact that, I just didn't want to, but again, we'll never know. It could have said I dogged or I bailed out on that. Could have been.
Yeah. But hey, it's okay. I'm not, the thing is, I don't even know if that really was you that did that. But I may know who it could have been, but I'm not going to say the person's name because that would be giving that person so much clout and so much reason to make a hate video.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Let's see. I'm looking to make sure everything is good with everything. Oh, okay.
With you, everything is chaos, Chayton, with your live chat. You know that, right?
Everything is chaos?
Yeah. It's like gravity, like you just said earlier about the Heath Ledger's, Joker's line.
Accurate point, but I will say this though, it is a pretty back and forth thing. I will see. Let's see. I never saw her asking things. I'm not going to scroll to see what the hell's going on with that. So I guess another question I have is,
well, can I ask, what was the question you were trying to ask me? Like, why do I feel like I'm the only one that feels miserable?
Oh, yes. We got carried sidetracked there for a moment. Thank you for remembering. So you were talking about having the, like, how you present yourself is like you're the only one that has gone through loss.
Right.
To be honest, and again, I've openly said there are people that I've legitimately lost. I'll say that for a point. That has gone on. Like other people, I'm sure a lot of people in the chat have gone through loss themselves. So my point is that you always make it about you regarding that, which, hey, you can say the same about me. I at least will admit sometimes, yeah, I'm an egomaniac. I'm a narcissist at times. I'm not going to fucking deny that.
Well, that's the first time you're being truthful for me for once.
Same thing with being a hypocrite. That's why when I called you a hypocrite yourself, I said it's okay because you and me are in the same boat in the hypocrite category. So
well, I would say being in the same category with you would be kind of too much for my taste.
Well, to be fair, I'm not happy about it either, but hey, I'll give ZTV some credit here. It's like you
said it, not me.
Yeah. In ZTV's words, we are like the Goku and Vegeta of this community, always trying to best each other. Even before the Thursday Night Wars, ever before all that, going back to probably 2020, hell, even late 2019 with the whole Land's Kitchen thing. So, let me ask you another question. So you have, and I've been blocked people myself, but you have blocked people who associate with me in one way or the other. So why is it? Because is it a trust issue? Is it whatever? You know, I know somebody you blocked recently. I'm not going to name the name out of respect, but you know, is it a trust stain? Is it for just straight up associate with me? Because as we've all said, we can associate whoever we want. You know, I associate with people that sometimes the parties involved don't get along with each other. As long as I'm not in the middle or get dragged into it, you know, it's all good. So once you go by that philosophy that as long as you're not dragged in the middle between a friend of yours and a friend of mine, mutual friend, if you will, wouldn't that be a fair adult thing to do?
You're still, not wanting to ask the question about how.
Oh, regarding the thing, I thought I did a little bit more, but I'll
Yeah, you know what?
a little bit more.
How about I answer the question before you keep talking? Because it seems that you're just going on and on and on, like like I've lost this and lost that. You know what? I'll be frank with you.
Well, I want to take a page out of your book.
Well, this ain't a page out of my book. What are you talking about?
But go ahead, answer.
You confuse the hell out of me sometimes. I don't know why, but
well,
anyway.
I do have Enigma tattooed on my arm, so the point is to kind of be a little confusing at times.
Yeah, and guess what? Sometimes it's not a good thing. Well, in your case, but then again, with other people, you know what? I'm just going to stop before I get off track, as it were.
Yeah, don't want to get off track here.
That was me being funny.
Being what?
That was me being funny right there. Now I'm going to be legit right here.
Okay. It wasn't funny, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, some people have a different sense of humor. But anyway, this is how I see it. I don't always come off as if I've lost everything in my life when that happened. And I'll go ahead and say it since you've had the privilege, and freedom to say it over and over and over about my brother. The thing is, Justin meant every single thing to me in this world than anybody in this platform, in this whole country, and other countries, and even the whole freaking planet. That is how he meant to me. So, at the end of the day, I would do anything just to get him back. Now, I understand people have gone through loss, and I bet they all think the same thing I do. You know why? Because that's how much they're willing to go just to get it all back, just to take everything back. What happened. See, if there's one thing I'd want in this whole world, it's to have my brother back. Now, you may not know how that will be or feel because you never once lost someone that deeply close to you, but until you have.
My grandmother and grandfather.
Okay, then you have. And guess what? Do you wish you could have them back? Yeah. You know why? Because they meant that much to you. And the thing is, I never once talked bad about anybody's family. Not once, not even your mother, which you have said in the past that we have somewhat harassed, even though I don't remember such, because last time I checked, the last time my mom interacted with yours was over like 2 years ago. So again, I don't consider that harassment, but hey, it's okay. You think whatever you want. But all I know is I know how I kind of wish, I could, find out who else is suffering other than I am. So I can, so that way we can all relate. Because this is a cruel, cruel world, and we're all just suffering in the process. So I don't always think I'm the only person suffering. I just kind of think I wish I wasn't suffering. There you go. The answer to your question that was always getting off the rails.
That actually brings up a follow-up question. See, one thing I've never really, even back when we were cool, one thing I never really respected of you, and then later something I never respected from your family, is you all, like, every time something gets wrong, right? So you do something wrong or something happens, blah blah. It's always and it's other people in your circle. I'll say it, Adam or whoever else. You always say, God will forgive me, God this, God that. You know, I could say, make an account named breast cancer. That's okay because God will forgive me. Oh, I could say, I could take a picture of an 8-year-old little girl and put as my profile picture. Oh, God will forgive me. Oh, I could do this, I could do that. So, like, you could do bad stuff like that. And according to your logic and according to the scriptures, you can get redeemed in the great kingdom, golden pearly gate bridge, all that good stuff.
Wow,
So,
he does learn.
Huh?
I said, wow, he does learn, referring to you.
Oh, yeah, something that a lot of religious people, I won't just say Christians, mistake about us atheists is that apparently because we're atheists, we don't know nothing about the Bible. And see, this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
To be fair, I don't hate Christians. I just hate basically the ones that, the Bible thumpers, the ones that basically have the superiority complex over everything. Just because I'm a Christian, you know, can repent or be condemned to hell, yada, yada, yada. That type of stuff.
Well, actually, I want to say that's the first time I ever heard of a thing called Christian phobic. But hey,
I've never heard of it either. So you know, that's hey, we both learned something. Never too late. Never too late. Like that 3 Days Grace song. But
have you?
Well,
let me get this straight.
I'm getting to the point because I was explaining the whole religion aspect.
I know that.
So have you ever thought? Because you say God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
So in your idea, in your ideology, why would God want to give something to someone that they are going to spend days, weeks, months, years having to care for however long until they are in the dirt? And I'm not just saying in your case, I'm just saying in general. And then
it's called compassion.
Compassion?
Yeah. It's called having, caring for human life and doing what you can with it. But you're going on about with the whole thing with someone being renamed breast cancer or someone taking a picture.
Well, yes. I was showing up the hypocrisies of all that because going back to that, so if Adam can be redeemed, all the heinous stuff he's done, whether it's, the taking a picture of a little girl. Like, you could say a lot of shit about me, but one thing I've never done is gone, like, even if, let's say, like, for example, I'll mention him, for example, when me and Tom had beef.
Okay.
I knew, like, he had kids, even if I hate his guts, I never went as low as take a picture of him and his kids and put it on a profile picture of mine or whatever else. So at least that's one thing I could say I'm better than Adam regarding of stooping low.
Can I just
not saying that I am cleansed of anything, but just saying that at least there's a few lines. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there are a few lines I won't cross. But so do you think someone like Adam doing all those heinous things could be redeemed at one point or another?
First, I just want to point out, like, Tom hasn't said or mentioned a word about you, and he's no longer involved. And
I know. I was bringing that up for context. That was really the only person I knew that I was close with.
You could take that as you were, and you can give you his own congratulations. I mean, you could take that as a win if you want to.
Now, I'm not asking for him to congratulate. I'm just using that as someone I know that had it, because there's not like too many people that would say I'm friends with on social media or whatnot that are on here to have kids.
Now, second thing I want to point out, the thing is, it's not up to me whether or not someone should be redeemable. I can't even answer that question for you. But I will say one thing, though. Just to clarify, for the umpteenth freaking time, I do not condone of him changing his username to breast cancer or using a picture of your daughter. And no, before you ask, I don't know where he got it from. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. But then again, everything can be, made into a big, gigantic mystery until you figure out, and then you had your Scooby snack. I mean, honestly, I don't condone stuff like that. Never have, never will.
Well, actually, that wasn't my, what do you call it, a follow-up question when you said don't ask again, because I've already asked Adam.
No.
He gave me his answer. I don't believe it, but, at least he gave me an answer.
No,
now,
but at the end of the day, I'm giving you an answer to a question that even if you did or didn't ask, I just want you to know I had nothing to do with it because, like I said, I have been going on with my life. And you can believe me or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Now, another question I have actually follow. So why did you wait until y'all were getting heat about the whole Adam thing? Because it felt very convenient that you responded only because y'all were getting heat over it. And also, second, why wasn't it like you and Eric? Because according to what Eric's saying in the chat, it was you and Eric that were primarily getting the flack. So why did you have to have help to kind of, do all that when really it could have just been you and Eric to have your explanation? But answer the first question first.
First of all, I was getting a little bit, fed up with people accusing me of something where I have to be held responsible for who should be, changing their username, or if I, condone, I think that's hilarious about cancer or whatnot. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I only did that video because I wanted to prove a point. And it doesn't matter if I had, people on there or not. I could have done the whole thing all by myself. But the thing is, some people just wanted to put their 2 cents on it. I mean, you've done the exact same thing, so hey, let's not, criticize you for that either. But
done the exact same thing how?
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Chayton, then you really need to look back at your own history. But hey, that's fine. That's fine. We don't have to go back and forth and outsmart each other. I mean, this is your platform. I'm just simply answering your questions as the best as I can.
I appreciate, though, how much you remember more of me than I of you. I appreciate that. That warms my soul.
Well, I don't know if I feel uncomfortable or feeling creeped out about that part, but okay. Moving on.
Well, apparently from what, there's a running joke about the whole blah, but apparently from what I've told that someone, no bullshit, someone else is in the closet. I'm just going to leave it at that.
And I don't even want to know because, again, I want to answer your question. All right. Now, second thing. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. What was the second question you wanted to answer?
Well, actually, the help part was the second question. Oh, it's funny. You lost your train of thought, too. Good. Anyway, my point is...
Nobody's perfect.
Agreed. See what I mean with ZTV bastard. Anyway. First point was... Actually, I think you answered both of them because I asked why did you do it after you all were getting hate? Because it's like, let me ask you, were you subscribed to Adam beforehand?
Honestly, I don't even know if I am subscribed to him or not. I mean, he just sends the videos, when we have our group chat, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube or not YouTube, Facebook. I'm sorry. Okay.
Because I was going to ask if you that would have been something you should have handled right then and there. If you knew about it, for me personally, if I saw somebody with the name breast cancer, especially I'm sure all of us have had family or friends that have dealt with, like either people who I've had family who've had cancer, people have died from having cancer in my family. I'm sure same goes to anybody else watching.
Same here.
And also, this is something I remembered regarding all that. Didn't you say, about how you're getting attacked? Well, isn't something a phrase we used to use, guilty by association?
A lot of people have been using that phrase a lot, not just us.
But back in the day, then we used to go by that logic.
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, sometimes I hated that, that saying.
So why, like, I'll tell you why they went after you and let's say Eric or whatever, is because the whole guilty by association moniker, because you don't and all that. So you're asking, oh, well, we have nothing to do with it. Also hypocritical on this point. When you all got heat for Adam, but couldn't that have been your karma for when you told ZTB about dire consequences? Would you agree to that?
I don't think I can agree with that because that has nothing to do. Like, you're talking about something that happened a year ago. You're talking about something that happened. This is something recent.
Well, you have brought up stuff from years ago as well in this conversation, if I may add.
Yeah. Because
so you saying that was a year ago, that kind of,
it's called a trip down
contradicts
memory
you.
lane. It's a trip called memory lane, Chayton. Something that I think some people need to know, because if this is your last night on YouTube or your last, showdown or whatever, then hey, make it the best of a good make the best of a good situation or a bad situation. I don't know.
Make good of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's sometimes why I need to realize I need to dumb down my vocabulary sometimes with you. I still do, unfortunately.
Well, I have to do the same thing. None of us are perfect, again.
Well, to be fair, one of us are only one of us have actually graduated high school.
Wow, great, yippee for you! And how did you and who did you have to get on your knees for to get that?
No one.
Okay, you keep telling yourself that.
Well,
you're just.
I sense that. I sense a little bit of jealousy.
I'm not jealous. I'm just having fun.
You having fun?
Yeah, I'm just having fun for the fact that you just don't get when I'm telling a joke. You just try to retort and all that. And you never.
Well, see, the difference between you and me is I actually make people laugh. Whether it's dark humor, whether it's this, whether it's that, all that good stuff.
And you think I don't?
No, at least not a majority.
Yeah, sure, right. See, you know what? That's the thing, though. I'm not trying to prove to be better than you. You wanted me on here.
Well, didn't you call me a no talent loser?
A no talent loser, huh?
I remember you called me that on a video you made. The one on probably the video you took the video down for. But did you call me that? Wouldn't that be a sense of superiority? Like, honestly, let me ask you something. We'll shoot straight from the hip right now.
Oh, not from the heart? Oh, that's hard.
I've already hit the heart many times, jugular to heart,
Yeah, and that's
it's already been mangled, so it's like, I got to find another target, if you will. And the hip is not too bad. But call me a no talent loser, right? Let me ask you something. When was the last time, and we'll go with this. When was the last time you actually worked? Like, I'm talking like a job.
Why do you care?
Just curious.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Curiosity killed the cat. So why would you care if I do have a place of employment or not?
Answer the question.
No, I'm just no. You said you're curious. That's all, right? Why? Well, let me tell you. Why would I have to answer a question such as that when this ain't about who's got the better job and who's got, superiority? I'll admit, yeah, I did call you that.
You did what?
I did call you a no talent loser. You know why? Because half of the drama that's been happening the last couple of months, you've been the vocal point, and most people don't call you out for it.
You want to say who hasn't called me out?
I can't say who's called you out because it's not anybody that I know that's not in good terms with you.
I sense fear.
I sense bullshit.
Elaborate.
See, that's your problem.
What's my problem?
The problem is you think this has a lot to do with who's got superiority, who's got the better comic gags. This ain't about this ain't about all that. This ain't about our beef. This is just to try, air things out, make everything all right with the world.
Oh, that's right. I just realized something. Not just the no time. I've recalled in the past, you have talked about that when people have made videos on me or something. You've said that I've stolen things from you, and I'm talking like, I guess, content. And to take the video out of the question, I want to know what stuff did I do in the past is considered theft in the, I guess, the creator aspect.
To be honest with you, you have, copied off a lot of things from me, like certain jokes, certain mannerisms, all that. But hey,
certain mannerisms, elaborate. I'm very curious.
It's only a matter of how you go about it. Like, it doesn't matter how you elaborate. It's a matter of how you perform. You just have to realize I don't expect credit for every joke I tell or say or do. But then again, who gets credit anymore for anything?
Well, I'll give credit right now. Credit to Dragon for, of course, by the way, Hangman Charlie and all the other memes he's made. The Hammer, Greg the Hammer Valentine, all that good stuff.
What?
Oh, I forget. You don't know certain jokes. Anyway, I forget you went over the head. Anyway.
Oh.
So you don't want to elaborate on the mannerisms. So what else did I steal?
There are times when you have stolen stuff like whether it's the idea of regarding, like certain chill streams, like let me tell you something. You were trying to copy off of me, but the thing is, you never once thought like, I'm going to do my own chill stream series too, because that's what David said to me, and he did. And you know what? He gave me, like credit where it was due of how he made his chill stream series.
Well,
but then again, I don't expect credit anymore from anybody. You know why? Because I'm just doing what comes naturally.
Well, to stealing the chill streams, chilling with George, chilling with the Gals, chilling 3000, whatever you want to call it. So, stealing a chill stream.
It's not stealing, it's copying.
Or copying. Okay, I'll go by your logic. Copying a chill stream. So by that logic, we've all stolen from each other because all of us have some form of chill stream. Leon has a chill stream. Jester's had a chill stream. A lot of us have had chill streams. So therefore, I could have been stealing from anybody, to be quite frank with you. But it's not copying something when it's been basically copied to death. It's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. So I don't get your logic by me stealing, because if that's the case, why hasn't, Leon, have you accused Leon of copying from you? Why haven't you accused this guy, Jester, from copying you? Why haven't you, this, that, and the third?
the environments are different. And
The
I'm
environments are different.
yeah,
So,
yeah, the
correct me if I'm
environments are
wrong, but
different.
there are other YouTubers who've had chill streams even before you and I. Therefore, again, your point is invalid, to be quite frank with you.
That's coming from you.
Well, one thing I will say is denial does look good on you, but don't, hey, no homo, man. You know, don't get all excited about that. But let's see. So so I guess something else. Well, actually, I got a contradiction I just realized. Well, you said that I have copied off of you. Well, wouldn't you say that you have copied? Let's see. Yes, I did, DH. I will full on admit that. I've even flagged down freaking Leon and even Kevin. Kevin has said that. I have done that. Difference is I've actually talked to either Leon, especially behind the scenes, so that's already been over and done with. But again, point taken. But with all that being, oh my God, ZTV. So all my point regarding that, you talk about me copying from you, but isn't your whole image basically a carbon copy? And I've called you this a dollar store or 2-cent Romy. Is it your whole gimmick, basically Romy Jr.? The only thing you're missing is a bald head. That's really it.
Used to be, but at the end of the day, I've evolved. And
You've evolved.
But
But
you have said people.
But that's hypocritical for calling me someone who's copied stuff, but yet you've done the same exact thing.
Well, chilling at the gallows, that's a copy of a name like Chillin. You could have, what you could have called it to make it even more better. You could have said hanging at the from the gallows or hanging at the gallows or whatever.
Hey, if you gave me that name, I would have given you credit on that. I just came up with something on the fly and all that good stuff. It wasn't copying from you. I'll say that to the end.
All right, then. But here's the thing. You have said in the past that people copy your gameplays, right? But
people have copied what?
That people have copied your gameplays, right? You said that people copy your gameplays before, haven't you?
I don't remember if I did or not. I may have. Elaborate.
Well, guess what? Everyone does it. I mean,
agreed. Now, unlike you, I actually produce high quality. Like when I've done gaming, I have produced high quality gaming content. And also to be fair, and I don't mean to bring this up, but also, wouldn't you say you are copying off of Junko because Junko brought that whole thing up?
What are you talking about?
You know Junko doing those gameplays, or when he does the gameplay stuff where he puts the screen, like the camera in front of the, what do you call it, the TV and all that while he's playing his games? So you're technically copying Junko.
No. I actually thought of, camera towards the TV, a while back.
But Junko did it first. So by that logic, you copied off of him.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I were to copy off of Junko, I would have copied off all the games he's been playing.
See, you're just using the same thing I said. Still following my lead after all these years.
You may think that you got me, but then again, it doesn't really matter who's
I got you the moment you came in here.
Thing is, it doesn't matter who's got who. And besides, a bigger difference is the fact that when I do my gameplays, I'll have, somewhat maybe 1, 2, 3, or maybe 5 people on my StreamYard just to have a good time.
Isn't that the same when Junko goes on a stream with multiple people?
But it's not on his channel.
Not on his channel, but still, it's still the idea.
Hey, whether you think it's the idea or not, you can think whatever you want. He doesn't do it on his channel, which I think he should. You know why? Because it's a great experience for people to hang out together while someone does some gameplay.
I'll see what Hidden says. Shout out to Hidden. I find it hilarious that when I first came through here, I said everyone should be minding their business. It took this long for everyone to do it. I guess I guess, or at least they say they are. I can agree with that. Let's see. Oh, and here's him again saying, when I spoke Chain alone, he told me everything. I didn't repeat any of it to anyone and continued telling people to stop because they would regret it later. And yeah, everyone decided to fight and you all played your parts, which I'll admit I played my part. You fell for some stuff. Thankfully, you all seem to be realizing and admitting it. I still got booted from Chain's Discord. Hidden. If you still have my Discord, if you want to hit me up, I'll definitely bring you back in. I have no issue doing that. It's probably one of the only people I booted like that I shouldn't have, honestly.
Is there anything else? Or is this a time limit?
Oh, there's no timeline. Basically, until you decide to leave is whenever I was off today. That's the only reason why I even went live today. If not, it would have been a different day. Or is the baby getting sleepy?
No, I'm not getting sleepy. I'm just wondering how long will this supposed to take. But then, since you said there's no time limit,
well, yeah, I never said there was a time. I just gave you a time limit to come in.
I know. But
besides, people are enjoying this. Give the audience what they want, right?
I guess so, but then again, this is not the way I would have wanted it to do because.
Well, hey, like I told you, there were multiple times I tried to talk to you privately, and you just decided not to do it.
Chayton,
what's up?
Let me finish because you're not getting my point.
Go ahead.
It's a real damn shame that it came to this point because the fact that we're giving the audience what they want. I don't think this is what anybody wanted. The fact that you have two people that can't stand each other, on the same panel at the same time, whether it's just to ask questions or to answer questions or to simply do this, that, and the third. You want to know a dark secret, man?
A dark secret? Go ahead.
Nobody wins. Not
I
you.
I still don't get that.
Hold on. Let me finish. Not you, not me, not anybody in the chat. Nobody. The only person that loses, is YouTube. Because you said you'll be gone after this is over. And you know what? I feel bad for YouTube.
Is Jordan Little giving me a compliment?
That's not a compliment. I'm saying I feel bad for YouTube having to lose another person on this platform. There's a difference. Well, giving a compliment and giving, sympathies are two totally different things. But I will say this, though. You were someone that I loved as a brother, okay? I'm going to be straight up honest with you. And I'm not going to shoot from the hip as you were. I'm going to simply shoot everywhere. Heart, mind, body, and soul. And it may shrink you down to size. And it may make you cry. But you know what? At the end of the day, a real man can cry. See, Chayton, there are times where I went to bat for you. And I didn't care what the risks were. Sure, you've done it for me. But then there were times when you didn't do it for me. And I really needed your help. I mean, I pretty much did a lot for you. Now, you can argue that you may have done the same, but the thing is, most of us may not see it the same of how many times of the numbers. But then again, it doesn't matter because we had something that nobody ever had. Chemistry. Chemistry to work on how to make everyone feel better around them. That's the kind of thing that drives us to do what we do best because I don't hate anybody in the chat who's agreeing with you. I don't wish anything upon them. I do know, however, that they get to know that we were a driving force. We were like revolutionizing something bigger. An atheist and a Christian, despite, different beliefs, working together, nobody's ever heard of that. Nobody. And that's what really made us, good friends because we had our differences. And yet, at the end of the day, you know what? Where it all got thrown away was one lie. One lie that you told. Now, if I want to, now I can be, if I'm telling, if I'm actually speaking the truth, you can deny this all you want. When I got a lot of sympathy for what happened to my brother, I didn't do that just to get a popularity contest. I did it because I was informing people that was within our community and also the main audience that my life was not going to be the same anymore. And you know what? And you know what's so? And you know what You know what? That's kind of it's kind of odd because some people would think you wouldn't want to go on a show like the day after your brother died. Well, guess what? Jim Ross continued to call a show after his mother passed away when he landed on the plane from America to London. Same thing happened with Bret Hart. He lost his brother, and he was already at the event, and it was after his own brother died, and it wasn't Owen at the time. It was someone else, and yet he still wrestled. And me, I did something I think my brother would have wanted me to do, and that would be hang out with my friends and do what I can to to do a show. Now, 1 year later, almost, you said, Ed, when you talked about your daughter dying, I thought you and me had something in common. And you know something? At the end of the day, I felt for you. I thought that you were really struggling. You were suffering like I was. But when I found out, and this was all my mother's doing when she was looking it up, and same thing with Dark Horse. I didn't ask them to do nothing, but you can believe whatever you want, okay? And you can listen right here, and you can tell that I'm being honest. That ripped my heart out of my chest and stomped in the floor when it was discovered it was a lie. Do you honestly think I wanted all of this to be put out there for you to be exposed? No. Because I thought the world of you, just like I think the world of most people I come across. Now, I'm not going to apologize for any of the stuff I've done because that's for other people to decide. Because if anything, all I can do is I can apologize for one thing, and that is I'm sorry if I wasn't a good enough friend for you to be honest with me. Because all I've ever really wanted was someone to tell me everything. I mean, your criminal record of whether it was abused animals or whatnot, and I know some people may find it very odd. Why would I, want to, defend you on that? The thing is, it's called loyalty. I would have went to bat for you, and whether you did it or not is irrelevant. I still would have had your back, man. Same thing with your problems, and I'll go ahead and say this name right here since we're not afraid of anything. You and your, in your ongoing, divorce thing, whatever with Daniela, that right there, I would have had your back. I would have had your back. And had you been honest with everything, I would still fight for you, man. And you know what? The people that are with you can not believe me all they want. But you listening to me right now and you being silent just knows, that I'm being honest and telling the truth to you right now, that I would have, been by your side until the end. But hey, you brought it upon yourself with that one lie. I'm not saying you deserve to be bashed for it constantly every day. I'm just giving you a reminder of how this all started. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because I think we've pretty much proven a point. Now, after I leave, do whatever you want. You can leave but here's the thing. You said that once I showed up on here, you would delete everything. So be a man of your word. Be a man of your word. And that's all I ask of you to do. Because if anything, I wish nothing but the best for you. And I really do. You know how hard it was for me to come on here?
How?
My stomach was turning. It was like as if my stomach was like, getting like cramps or whatever, but I fought through it, and here I am. Just to tell you this. From one man to another, and no like who's got balls out of their mom's purse jokes, but as legit men, I'm coming to you and telling you right now, live freely, stay alive, and live life to the fullest. Can you at least promise me that?
What, to live life to the fullest, stay healthy, all that good stuff?
Yeah, and even if you're not on YouTube, that's all I ask. Can you at least promise me and and people that support you that? Even if you're not on here anymore?
Well,
I don't really want you dead. Because for people who think I want you dead, there have been times I've wanted you dead, but you know what?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, but I'm not trying to do a dick measure. I'm just saying, like, just to clarify that.
Thing is, I don't want you dead. I just want to be left alone. But I do want what I do want is the best for you. And I hope you get it, even if we're not friends anymore.
Well, since you showed me the respect of finally coming in here, I'll show you the same respect by promising you that.
That's all I ask.
Now, to say my side before you go, because you have your reasons for why our friendship ended, that intensified it, yes, but my reasoning for deciding to cut ties with you. And you're right, I did not appear every time you needed backup, either A, because I was at work, because I was doing this, doing that, whatever. Again, we all have our lives, we all have our priorities in life. So,
true.
And sometimes our priorities are more important than whatever goes on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
So my reasoning for why I cut ties and showed those screenshots, the SpongeBob thing, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to elaborate exactly. People who know, they know. Was when I, of course, when everybody was leaving you, whether that be certain people, I won't bring their names up out of respect, but certain people were just tired of you leaving, didn't want nothing to do with you. Some still don't want nothing to do with you way before anything between me and you started. And they would kept asking me, why are you still with him? Why are you still by his side? Why are you still defending him? And I said, he reminds me of myself when I was I look at him as a little brother. I look at him as someone, made some mistakes, but he can improve. So after every time something happened where you got in hot water and then you took a break and left for a little bit, yada, yada, yada. It was a consistent thing to the point where I just got tired. Because it's like, how many fuck ups can one guy have and not expect there to be consequences? And I know about that more than anybody. Before anybody tries to say that in the chat.
Hey, you and me, we may not be best of friends, but we do have we have done a lot of F ups. Okay.
So yeah, and that is true. But so I stems back to the whole, basically my breaking point was not the Maddie Winkowski thing as itself. By the way, she's been to a lot of the shows here in San Antonio. I've gotten to know her a little bit. Sweet girl, nice girl, all that good stuff.
good thing she's getting out there, because at the time, I mean, there wasn't really that much to know about her.
No, she actually won. She was a women's champion here in San Antonio for a little bit. She's actually, I'm still to this day shocked she has not been signed yet by any major company. I hope one day she will. She's made appearances, but anyway. So it wasn't that got me to the point where I was. It sounds like you guys are going to fuck us that fight. Well, not me at least. But anyway, my point is that wasn't my breaking point. It was basically after that. You know what I'm talking about. It was the Chill with Jordy where you kind of explained your side of things, and and that was the first time I noticed this. You had your mother come in to defend you, all that stuff. And you had her defend you and basically go and look up something from Twitter that she did maybe not that long prior or whatever. Basically, instead of basically acknowledging guilt and learning from it, it was a form, and you could deny it, but it was basically a form of making excuse. Well, I may have said this, but it's not as bad as what she did. That was when I lost respect for you, not only as a friend, but as a man. Now, I haven't, like, the whole mom's Facebook thing. Yes, I will say that on my end. But I've always said this. When it came to the situation with me and you-know-who, I could have done the same thing you did. I could have gotten my mom and been like, hey, Mom, can you come in with me on a stream and tell everybody your side of things, because she has dealt with her, she's been assaulted, yada, 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 by the individual. So she has seen a lot of the stuff to basically tell everybody who was really and before I say anything, I am going to admit that I am no saint. I was not the best husband in the world. I'm not going to say that I was not, I wasn't the best husband in the world. I'm not going to say that, I've called us walking heroin. We were addicting as hell to each other, but it would have never ended well. It took a couple of years for me to realize that. But I could have had her come in and basically debunk a lot of the claims that were made.
By you-know-who.
Yeah. Because, again, it's not only because she has seen, she's my mother and all that. It's not because she would defend me because of my mother, or she's my mother, but because she has seen that stuff. She has seen how she is, not only on her end, but my end, how she is to people when she doesn't get what she wants. Case in point, when she doesn't get what she wants, when no one starts to believe her, she blocks people. But here's the other thing, and I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it here again. Something that Cherry said in the chat regarding that. When she claimed, because she's changed in our conversations, our prior conversations, she's changed the story of when exactly the whole thing happened. One moment it was after, it was the last time I saw her. No moment it was 3 years ago, so on and so forth. Okay, after that, it wasn't she changed the story up, which that's probably one thing we've had in common before, is we've had history of changed stories of age. But I'm being serious now. If you one thing that in those medical things said that, I couldn't be, due to my Asperger's autism, I couldn't take care of her by myself. So, and again, to me, that part, that was nobody's business, but since it's out there, I'll say it right now. That said, because of my medical condition. So, when she was with me that last time, it was Halloween weekend of 2020. How do I remember that? Someone someone else, and I'll say I can't remember if were you on that stream, Tom's stream?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Let me ask you a question. That you saw her, right?
Genesis.
Yeah.
If you want me to be honest, I saw her, and she didn't look like she was suffering to me.
Yeah. And I couldn't, again, that part I couldn't remember. I remember it was on time. I couldn't remember if you were in there or not. Because again, it's been.
I was there. I mean, I can remember that because I remember doing that with Tom 3 years ago. And honestly, it's one of my biggest regrets of doing because I can't rap for shit. So again.
You can't do what?
I said I can't rap for shit. You know?
Oh yeah, that was fun. Well, if it makes you feel better, I can't rap either, but. So I'm going to tell it to you. I know you probably heard this probably in other things, but I'm going to tell you kind of what led up to everything, because at least you've come in here and you've told me, you've basically said something from the heart, and also I'll get back to the whole lie or bias of why we. So basically, after the whole mom thing, I blocked. But going after, I just didn't want nothing to do with you. But now, could I've done something different instead of showing those screenshots? Yeah, I could have. I'll admit that right now. But going back to the whole situation regarding that. So it wasn't until around, what was it? Like, and then of course that was the last time I saw her, and I didn't tell anybody that because honestly, that wasn't like, to me, I was still in shock of it. But they were still trying to make arrangements, whether she wants to admit it or not. There was going to be some type of arrangements to have visitation, to try to have calls with that. But unfortunately, and this wasn't the first time she accused me of this. She said, or she accused me of that stuff and all that. She tried to get the, what you call it, cops involved, yada, yada, yada. Because I was still trying to fight for her, and all that good stuff. At that point, I was at the point, like you talked about, like almost wanting to kill yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that was.
See, this is what honestly pissed me off about this. Again, I'm trying to be remain composed and not fucking doing it. But what pissed me off about that was you were going to do that over being blacklisted from a community, right? Deservedly so or not, that's up for people's debate. But, and David and Tom can verify this, there was a point, this was before even the lie even began. I sent them a message basically telling Tom, if anything were to happen to me, I want you to take over the show. Because I did not want the show to die with me, basically. Because I was on the verge, but I didn't, someone being a prideful individual, I've only had to learn the last year or so to kind of make fun of myself, joke about myself, humble myself, and show my softer side and show my more emotional side.
Are you about to tell me that on that day you messaged him, if anything were to happen, were you about to kill yourself over what's been going on with the legal issues?
Yes.
Then, okay.
But I wasn't, again, unfortunately, there's a little bit of my father in me where he was a very prideful man. He wouldn't ask for help. He wouldn't tell anybody his problems. He wouldn't do anything. So that's one trait I did get from him. Thanks, Dad. But, I'm not going to make an excuse for that, but that's one thing I got from him. If only I could get other things too, that would have been great. But like growing hair without it turning into an afro, trying to make a joke about the whole situation. But try to lighten the mood a little bit. But and again, ZTB, a few others know about this when I had private conversations with them. Like after they started seeing certain things I was sending them regarding screenshots, if you will. So what irritated me most when you said that is that, when I left here, when I basically got forced out, excommunicated, exiled, whatever you want to call it, there was a period of time where I was actually feeling good. Like around that same time I started, because there was certain things that were going on behind the scenes that was kind of going in my favor, where it was like, everything was going good. That's why when I came back, basically going scorched earth, I just was like, well, I may have lied, but y'all motherfuckers have been misinformed, and sooner or later you're going to find out. So regarding all that, I kept that to myself. I kept it to myself. And again, I shouldn't have. That's like, instead of making up the lie, because that's something that and my mom said this verbatim, or maybe not verbatim personally, but when I am dealing with grief, dealing with something that is very stressful to me, whether it's they're
dead to you.
Huh?
That some individual.
Yeah, whether it's someone, it could be something, a minute thing, maybe a breakup or something. I don't pretend everything's dead, but I either block it out of my mind. And what better way to block it out of my mind and make sure no one brings it up is if I told certain people about it. That way they know it's a touchy subject. Now, again, was it right? No, it wasn't right. And I shouldn't have done. Of all the things I've regretted doing, of all the things I have done over the last couple of years, the things I've said, the things, whether anybody wants to believe it or not is irrelevant. The real people out there who actually were able to have conversations with me behind the scenes, long conversations, not just quip it, screenshot it, forward it to their friends or whatnot, have an actual conversation with me where I feel safe, or I feel like, I could let everything out. I was at the point of doing that, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. That way, maybe if I don't think about it, I even told my own mother not to bring her up at all. I had a picture of her on my refrigerator. It was made for me by the foster family. I had a picture of her that was on my refrigerator. I had portraits of her that I removed for a period of time until I felt I was ready. Now everything's back up. Because even though she is like, I'm at peace with the idea that until she turns 18, and it'll be her choice to come find me. But it's not like, I have those things up. And I always think about the good times. No matter what anybody says, call me a deadbeat, saying I didn't do anything, whatever else. I don't care what anybody says. I love that little girl with all my heart, and it broke my heart having to do that. And Ken, I can't take it back. That's the thing. That's the thing I'm going to have to live with. There could be things I'm apologizing for. There could be things I regret. No matter what I do with that, I can never take what I said back. As far as the misses, I'll just say it like that. With her, I'm just going to say I don't regret because of everything that happened afterwards. I don't regret any of that regarding anything I've said about her or whatnot. I don't regret any of that. But regarding what I said about her, or the little girl, that's the one thing I regret.
Well,
and honestly, and again, it's my fault for making it public.
Yeah.
See, the reason why I had issues with a lot of people, and I had issues with ZTV, I had issues with Kevin, I had issues with this, that, and the third, is because, I've always said this. I threw the gasoline in, but and again, ZTV and me have talked privately. A few others have talked privately. Kevin and I, even we know we have our disagreements, he apologized for certain things he said about me. I will give him that. He was man enough to apologize to me. But everybody else kept the fire going. Whether I was here or not, still to this day. And You know what? The best, like I said, the reason besides you and the stream I made, the reason why I came back was for stuff like this. I don't mean me and you. I don't mean that. But my thing was, I wanted, by hook or by crook, to prove everybody wrong. Like, they could think of whatever about me with the animal stuff, harassment, whatever. Doesn't matter. They could ask whatever questions they want. It doesn't fucking matter. But I said this since day one. I may be a demon. I may be a devil at times. But at least I admit I am at times. I admit that I am a piece of shit at times. I admit that I go low. I admit that I could be the most vile human being on the planet at times, or at least on YouTube. But one thing that I wanted to prove is that I may be a wolf, but the person that you were dealing with was a wolf in sheep's clothing. And so, but then after that, I wanted the final thing, which was you. Because of all the other people, I've had Ma Bear, I've had everybody else I've talked to, one way or the other. This was my closure. I've had multiple closures. Some I didn't even think I wanted. But, and ZTV's right on the money with this. Cried on a personal call. And ZTV can clarify this. That wasn't me faking it. That wasn't me. I could basically, or try to talk kind of low. But I'm an actor, right? Like I've openly admitted that I'm an actor, model, whatever, right? But if somebody told me to try to produce tears on the fly, that's one thing I can't do. That's one thing I can't do. I'd have to put fucking water drops in my eyes and make myself cry, or spit in my hand and rub it on my face and look like I show tears. The whole thing is, I shouldn't have said what I said, and I am forever sorry to that individual for it. But I am at least glad that there was some YouTube justice at the end. Because at the end of the day, what my purpose of coming in here, besides to be perfectly honest, making everybody's life a living hell on here at one point, because again, I didn't know when or how I was going to be able to get that's one thing. I will always, I may talk shit about your mother. Me and your mother may not be on the same page. Me and your mother may dislike each other. One thing I'll give her credit for. If it wasn't for her, and she's and this is something she's admitted, so I'm not going to fucking say this, or this is not me bullshitting. One thing that I'll give her credit for. She was the instrument to my downfall, and also, indirectly or not, the instrument to my rise. And it wasn't for fame, it wasn't for money, it wasn't for fortune, anything. It was to make right of something. I can be labeled a lying piece of shit all day long, but I wanted the same for the other person. Because unlike y'all, you could all say that you've known her for a year, 2 years, whatever. Try knowing her for 5 years. And all the times that I really, honestly, I was ashamed to bring certain things up regarding certain things. Ashamed about being physically abused, mentally abused. I'll admit I've been guilty of mentally abusing her too. That is like, of anything that she said, 2 things she's correct on. 1, there was very much a mental abuse going on for both of us. I will admit my share. And number 2, I was not the best husband I could have been. It was kind of like, it was parts times, what do I need to be more? The perfect husband or perfect father? You know, it was, you know, all this other stuff. But I was not the perfect cousin. And I'll admit, there were times where I wasn't the best father in the world. So the whole situation was, you know, of all this whole thing for the last couple of years, I wanted to get not only to show everybody, whether you all believed it or not, who this individual was, but also I wanted closure. And like I said, this is why I got. But I also wanted to, since I've really never been able to talk to you face to face, to give you my side. Whether you believe anything I've said in this whole in this whole epilogue speech or not, it's irrelevant to me. But at least you hear it from the devil's mouth, if you will. Or actually, I'll take that back. Chait Long talking to Jordan Little.
I don't have to believe you if you're telling the truth or not, Shaden. You're just simply, you know, speaking your mind as you should. I mean, I'm not gonna deprive you of that right. But I will say this. The only thing I'm disappointed in you is the fact that you lied to me about your kid. I mean, to be honest with you, I know you may love that little girl, but at the end of the day, you have to live with the fact that with that one lie, you pretty much threw everything away. It's not friendships. It's basically what you may or may have not wanted to be. I mean, a true father, let me tell you something. My dad has never really had an easy life. And you know what? When you showcased his Facebook, I wanted to tear you to shreds. So I'm going to just put that out for the record right now, okay? But my dad didn't have an easy life growing up. All he ever wanted to do was have you know, a loving family. But guess what? He got that, but it wasn't, you know, the one he grew up with.
I want to say this real quick.
Can I finish before you?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you, because I spoke for a while, so go ahead.
Yeah, you did, and for too long, but it's okay. The one thing that I will feel bad for is the fact that your daughter will never have that loving family that gave her life. And I'm not saying that to bash you. I'm not saying that to bash the other person. I'm just simply saying that, you know, being honest. Because as a father yourself, you should never have lied about your kid dying. You should have been open. It doesn't matter if you were like your dad or whatever. Being honest with people that you can know and love, that's not a weakness, man. And you may have not said that, but I could tell you felt you perceived it as weakness, and it's not. I've always felt weak when I want to be honest with other people too. And you know what? When I open myself up, it's like I'm being released from shackles. So I will give you credit. You spoke what you needed to say. And after this, delete your channel. I mean, I still think this is what I see. After you delete your channel, I'm not going to talk about you anymore. Because the thing is, there is no point, because I don't even talk about you on a daily basis. If anything, I just want to see you progress. Because I don't think you need YouTube. I think you need life more than you need YouTube.
I agree.
That's just my honest opinion.
Oh, I agree. That's why a lot of times that's why most of the time, even when I streamed with my gameplays, I didn't stream until like late at night, because of the point that I was, you know, either working or I was going out, having a few drinks with people, going doing this, going do that, whatever. Now, someone's going to tell you, I've always said this. People in the chat know this. When I feel like I've been that it's going personal, I go for the jugular, and I go for anybody that's basically in my path that is connected, whether by blood, whether by blood, whether by friends, what have you. And that's just my ideology in that. And we can disagree on that, but that is my ideology on it. It probably will still be to the end. But reason why I went personal, because you're right. You never did contact you know who. You never did do that. Not you, at least. But your mother did. And orchestrated the interview, which led to basically more. Because honestly, in my opinion, after the lie was exposed, that was basically damage enough. That was like, that should, like, yes, by hook or by crook, I could have still maybe found a way to get back in people's good graces, whatnot. But that was already, that could have been it. But the mother orchestrating it and leading up to that, and then even why I had a dislike for Tom basically making a variety show out of it. And when I went low on him, because like certain people left it, like maybe they made one video and left it alone when it was fresh, and they left it be. And they just gave their thoughts. They didn't really just trash talk or anything. They just kind of went their way. But again, your mother was like I said, pouring the gasoline. People like your mother lit the fire. So, how I respond, because to me, in that regard, that was going personal. Because like I said, it could have been left alone. And it would have been, and it's the same effect would have still happened. I still would have been blackballed for however long, who knows. But I would have been blackballed regardless, because that's a line you don't cross, and I'll openly admit that. So
I will agree, but I just want to point out something about that whole interview with that whole thing. I don't really recall her trying to orchestrate any kind of interview.
She did admit before that she was, and you've said this about her getting in contact with her. Now, it was at the behest of somebody else, but still, it was a choice. And those choices have consequences.
Yeah, wait a minute. I get what you're talking about. That interview. I thought you were talking about something else.
No. So that was basically, at that point, I took that as getting personal, because then it was airing out basically stuff that's already been either dealt with, not like basically left alone for however long. And again, misinformed as well. Yeah. But like I said, like even, and I will take on my end, like actions have, or choices have consequences. I made a choice and it had consequences, in my opinion. But you did contact her to get the ball rolling. Anyway, I made a choice and it had consequences. Mama Bear, Lisa, had a choice and it had consequences. And here we are. This is everything that has led up to this very moment has been a matter of our choices. Every action has a reaction. So every action that we have taken throughout this whole journey from that point all the way to here was from those choices. If I handled it better, then there may not have been the choice that was shown later on. However, again, because as I said, and few people have openly told me that it shouldn't have gone on for as long as it, or it shouldn't have went as far as it did, even on, and I'm not saying you directly, but y'all's side. Both our sides. Basically, both sides are guilty of keeping this going. Either by reacting, attacking people, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. Like the stuff with Mason in here. All this stuff that has gone on from that choice that both parties made. My choice and the choice it led in. Everything is gone on because of the choices. Both me and Ma Bear could have chose a different route. But we didn't. And here we are. I am not excusing my end. But take accountability on not you, but on that end.
Look, if I may be honest, it's not about who should be taking accountability. It's about, trying to end things right here, right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, this ain't about everyone else. This ain't about my mom. This ain't about Dark Horse. This ain't about anything. It's just about you and me, right? This
yeah,
is the one,
I'm just using that for context from the purpose of.
I get you.
What led to everything.
But at the end of the day, whatever context you're putting in does not change the fact that this comes to an end. Okay? Because what happened, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow when I do my marathon? I'm just going to simply, think of this as a bad hangover from, even though I've never been drunk before. But there's one thing you cannot call me, and that's a coward.
Guess I'll end it with this.
I'm just simply pointing it out.
No, I'll give you. You finally showed up after all the jabs that I've taken. But I know you said that YouTube will lose someone else, yada yada yada. But I just want. Let's see.
Closure.
I want this. All the shit I've said about your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, what have you. Why, when I make the proclamation that I am leaving, if you come in, of all the other times I have either had like others send you a link to try to come in, this, that, and the third, or try to have a private conversation, why was it at the moment that I said and gave my word that I would leave if you came in, all of a sudden now you're here? I just, I know you say that it's a different reason, this, that, but it's, of all the shit I've said a lot of fucked up shit. I'm not going to deny that. That would have made anybody else fucking just come in there and fucking just go guns blazing or go in there and face that person.
You're wondering why now?
Yeah.
It's to teach you a lesson, mostly. Because you don't bite off more than you can chew. I'm never going to say, if I can't get this or if I can't get that, I'm leaving YouTube. See, you said out of your own mouth that if I showed up, then after this is all done, and I don't care how long this video's up for, maybe for the next hour or 24 hours, you would delete everything and be gone. And the thing is, this is to prove a point. So that way, don't write checks that your ass can't cash. Because, and I'm not saying that to bury you, I'm simply telling you this so you can learn. Yeah.
So basically, in short terms, was because of this.
It's to teach you a lesson.
But
I never said you couldn't be on anywhere else. I mean, If you want to be on Twitch, fine. If you want to be on LinkedIn or whatever that site is called, fine. Or even anywhere else, like even that, I can't believe I'm even saying this, MySpace, even if that's still a thing, or Daily Motion, still be on there.
You forgot TikTok. I'm still doing good on there.
TikTok's an abomination.
Is he your mother? I'm not trying to talk shit, but is he your mom on TikTok?
Yeah, and she's got over 100,000 followers, and yet I'm proud of her that she's able to get something out of that.
Yeah, because I was like, when you said that, I was like, wait, is he your mother on that?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm only on there just to support her.
Ah, okay.
Besides,
it's not an abomination.
Wait. What did you just say?
I said TikTok is not an abomination.
Is that interference I hear?
Yeah, that's her just saying TikTok is not an abomination. And just so we're clear, she ain't coming in or whatnot. She's just throwing that out there. I mean,
Oh, I know. I just, again, sensed some interference that could have been handled behind the scenes.
oh, everyone knows that she likes to have fun, but it doesn't really matter at this point. The point is, there's one thing that you can get out of this, and I can get out of this. We don't have to cross paths ever again. But just know, this is it. I'm not going to say I won a battle or a war. I'm just simply going to go on with my life, keep my head held high and kiss my fist and touch the sky. And just, live life. That's a W I'm taking. And you should take that W too while you can. Because we're all only on this earth for a limited amount of time. You just never know when it could be there 1 minute and then it's gone the next.
Oh, yes.
I'm not saying you should get a righteous heart. I'm just telling you, live life to the fullest while you can.
Oh, yes. That's why I do. I will say this about TikTok, though.
Oh, great.
Regarding the whole situation, TikTok actually was something. I think I created mine in 2021 December. I have had like the most fun I've ever had on any of these platforms, besides doing my gaming stuff, whatever, on here, because I do enjoy doing the gaming stuff. But besides that, when I was on here doing doing the TikTok, that's the most fun I've had in a long ass time, because I don't know, it's just I feel more like this is before I kind of came out of my shell and was being more me. What I mean by that, with implements of my, I guess, devil side, what you got. Oh yes, TikTok does pay very well.
Who's saying that?
Mama Bear.
I knew she'd say that.
Like, trust me, like I all my ventures outside of YouTube have done very well for me. Modeling, acting, whatnot. And those will always be my my priorities over this. Because, like I said, so I've been expanding my horizons regarding other opportunities, podcasting, whatnot, So, like I said, I've been, whether people like to believe it or not, I have been, like, last year, whatnot, after everything happened, like the last maybe year and a half have probably been some of my favorite years. Not had to deal with too much bullshit, just doing my thing, doing my working, yada, yada, yada. So, like, I will always live life to the fullest. And that's something that is not going to change whether I'm on here or not. And so, let's see. So, yeah.
Just know this. Be a man of your words, stick to your guns, and just live life. That's all I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. I know you've probably heard that I'm about to become a professional wrestler, right?
Yes.
Here's the thing. I swear on my life that if you show up to do any event near San Antonio, excuse me. God, I don't know why I'm getting.
Dang, I didn't realize I was in California now.
No, I didn't. I was getting the 619 reference, but then again, who cares? Yeah, I promise not to take your drink and splash in your face.
Well, even if you did, it's just for show, right? Especially if you're a heel.
Well, yeah, but then again, I probably do it just for the hell of it. But then again, I will refrain myself from doing that. And the thing is, whether or not this happened tonight, I'm just going to be honest with you. I would have refused bookings in San Antonio, but I would tell you this though: even if it had to take me to a point where I had to make sure that I didn't show up so you could get banned, kind of deal. That's how much I'm not going to let. I don't want anyone to lose a fan in the industry. So just keep that in mind, that I'm willing to be professional, even if we don't like each other, or if we're not friends, because we're not. I'm just simply telling you that I'm willing, that I can be professional when it comes down to it.
If Jade shows up, J-Man's process to body slam him. If that was the case,
well,
can you lift about 180? Can you lift 180?
Probably, but then again,
Believe it, like everybody talks about my milkshakes that bring all the girls to the yard, or my gut or whatever. Believe it or not, I'm only 150, and trust me, I've had people getting having me wait, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Having, like, saying I've lost some weight, especially around my face area, my neck.
You should start eating more. You should start eating more. That's your problem.
I started eating more. Yeah, I still have this hot pocket. Now it's
a cold pocket. You're welcome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I just took a bite of it. It's still good though. Chicken bacon ranch. Go to your local Walmart, or I don't think y'all have HEB where you live, but go to your local market and see if they have them. They're actually pretty good.
But either way, it's already been 2 hours. And you know what? I mean, I'm going to call it a night, but I will say this, though. Be a man of your word. Live life to the fullest. And like I said, there are other platforms out there other than just this.
Oh, I agree.
So yeah, this is the end of the saga between me and you. And you know what? I'm not saying we're friends again. I'm not saying that we're having a virtual handshake, or we're saying sorry to each other. It's all out there, and it's all over. Okay, it's done. I mean, you didn't cuss me out. I didn't cuss you out. It was an even playing field. I will say this though. Thank you for allowing me to come on here.
You're welcome. And thank you for showing up.
You're welcome. So, everybody in the chat, whether you like me or not, I wish you all nothing but the best. Have a good night, and please go to sleep. I mean,
I don't go to sleep till like 6 a.m. because I work nights.
Not you, the chat. I mean, people. I mean, most of you guys need to go to work. I mean, you got to make some money. Like I'll be making money when I'm in the business. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys have nothing more than the best and the greatest. Even if some of you don't like me, I still wish nothing but the best. So, yeah, later.
Later. Give me a second. I'm looking at my chat. All right. Let's see. Looking at the chat. Well, that was unexpected, but I do too. Even while my days off, I feel like I'm still working. Scary man's work is never done. So, with that, wonder what to say now. Wonder what to say now. Dang, I still got 30 people watching, even if I'm what do you call it? Hey, my Hey, I don't know if I've told you this privately, man, but that podcast we did huge numbers. So thank you a bunch for helping out with that. I'm going to, because I've seen a lot of conflicting reports, and since I've been since I've been a hypocrite on many things, one thing I will vow, I got the entire stadium watching me, and I love it. So I'm going to put some in the chat. Very curious about this. I'm going to make one last poll. We'll keep it up for about 15 minutes. And we will see. We will let the audience decide. Because the real ones, they don't, they wouldn't care. Or they would, wouldn't care about certain things. Give me a second. I'm not used to making these polls, so. And that. All right. We'll do a simple yes or no. We'll let the community decide. Told me to come here. Oh, thank you for the support. Thank you for the support for everybody. We shall see. Damn, it's already gotten to 16 votes. 75% say yes. 25 say no. 17. Jay, it's been the end of the of Hangman Charlie for a long ass time. We are going to see, because there was some even though I'm going to stick to one thing I did say. This is the end of this whole feud. But there was some interference. So instead of swerving y'all, bro, how about I let the chat decide? I'm going to let the chat decide. Where are we at now? We're going to leave it there for a moment. I got to check my notifications. My phone has been flying off the thing. Exiled. That's funny. All right. Well, there was a violation of the terms. However, I'm still with the other part of my deal that it is the end. But there was a violation of my terms. Let's see. 21 votes. And y'all heard it. There was a violation of my terms. I even said the terms at the beginning. Yeah, no matter what, I got my closure. I got the final piece of my closure that I wanted. So regardless of what anybody calls me a hypocrite, whatever. People call me a hypocrite, so be it. But again, as a man of the people, I'm going to see what the audience thinks. Well, unless there's a lot more votes to happen in a matter of another 10 minutes, we've got 21 votes. So, due to a technicality of my rules I enforced, I'm going to end the poll there. Due to a technicality. Because again, as people saw, as I said, no interference, no anything regarding that. Y'all been swerved, bro. But more importantly, the one thing that, I am keeping is that this feud, this whole thing that's going on is not, what do you call it? That word regarding the whole thing to be over, to be done with, that is one thing I will keep my word on. And again, just like with the YouTube thing, I'm going to let my actions do the talking for me. So, tomorrow night, be sure to check out the Resident Evil 3 gameplay, because we're going to go back to basics here. We're going to go back to what the channel's name implies. Exactly. The real ones said it. So as one chapter ends, another chapter will begin. And I will keep this stream up. Like, I'm going to keep this stream up and all this other stuff regarding that. And again, it is the end of an era. It really is. Jay Troy had giant in his life right now. Actually amazed, consider moments like this only happen once in a lifetime or none at all. Well, the subscribers don't matter to me. It just, like, what matters is the people who support me, as people have right now. See, this face is still attracting people watching, so I'm still doing something right. But again, I am keeping my word on the whole, not mentioning anything. That is done. I finally got the one thing that I've been wanting. And again, to be fair, I knew that if I said this, that it would be the final part, that would be the thing to do it. But I was going to be a man of my word, but there was a technicality. So, if anybody wants to come in, give their thoughts or anything, the days of letting certain people in are over, because it's all about and I'm gonna still I'm still gonna, you know what, I'm in a nice mood, so I'm still gonna have DH keep his mod ship. I have no issue with that, because I have no he doesn't need to watch or anything, but I don't need to remove mods or anything. That's bull, and you know it. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. But again, like, you can like it, you cannot. Hey, no technicality, you got the long way closure, so I'm happy it ended off on a peaceful note. No colony, but peaceful. But it was a technicality. Not talking shit, but I agree with what Hardboiled Egg says. It is time to love thy neighbor. It's time to love each other. It's time to let all the animosity go away. It's time to go our separate ways and go in our communities, what have you, and all that good stuff. Even cold, this is so good. So good. It's a new era. Yes, you heard it here. It is a new era for this channel. A new era. This Hot Pocket never tasted so good. Oh my God. Honestly, hey, we could talk for a little bit. We still have 24 people. I'm off tonight, so I don't have work until fucking later in the evening, so I'm fucking good. Well, check my notifications because my phone has been blowing up. And yeah, because I gotta read back in everything with the chat. I'm gonna keep this up because I need to read everything that was said in the chat. And to anybody that got booted, let's see. Well, thank you, Cherry, for showing your support, being here this entire time. And I apologize to anybody who has been unwrongfully booted or timed out or whatever. I may have to do something about that with the mods. I've got a good selection of mods, but I may have to look to see maybe some mods I may need to remove. Until then, I don't know. Oh, shit. But yeah, so I'll be streaming Resident Evil 3 Remake on my PS5 tomorrow night. And we'll be having fun there. And yeah, that's really it. Thank you, Hard-Boiled Eggs. I appreciate it, man. Or woman, I don't know who you are, but, I appreciate all the support. Like I said, call me a hypocrite all you want. One, I don't care. Number two, if I am, I am. If I'm not, I'm not. It is what it is. But also, as something I have learned through the last couple of years is that, Lauren, don't do that because I may have to remove your mod for a little bit. Okay, Hard-Boiled Eggs. But, one thing I've learned with things, technicalities, loopholes, if you will. But yeah, good night, man. And I'll probably end it here. I'll probably go back to playing WWE 2K23. I just beat the Showcase with Cena. Got to beat Super Cena. Got to unlock Hogan. All this other stuff. But I'm going to look at the chat to see who got timed out and who did. If it was rightfully so or unrightfully so. And I will go from there. So, with that being said, mark this down on your calendar. I am going to do all that. But yeah, that is it. So make sure you go check out my interview with the rest of the talk that I did. I actually went on the Open Fight Night last night when I was on break. We had a good conversation, me and Mr. Otaku. So go check that out. Go check out, of course, he did a good Triple H impression of me. I will give him that. I thought it was hilarious. So go support him. Go support, of course, my stream I did the other day and all that good stuff. But again, I'll be back tomorrow night. The night the Beef lost the Buried Alive match. So, out of everything, I got what I wanted. And I got my closure and my final victory. My final victory. But everything I said, one thing I will say beforehand, everything that me and him said to him, oh, keep it up, Dragon. Everything, when we had our heartfelt moment, I meant every word I said. And I'm sure he meant every word he said too. That's one thing. So even though all that, I want to make that perfectly clear. But it is what it is. So thank you to everybody, all the however many people were watching, because we had almost 40 viewers looking at this beautiful face, all that good stuff, hearing this beautiful voice, doing what I do best. I tell you, it's, I don't know how I make it so easy. There were emotions. Yes, there was. It was basically a long story arc in wrestling terms that had hatred, emotion, a moment of solidarity, like a DX reunion, and back then going to separate ways. It's like Vin Diesel and Paul Walker at the end of what was it, Furious 7. I have Vin Diesel going my way. We go on our separate ways. Or like Ada and frickin' Leon. And you know who I am. Go Ada. Or go Ada. Well, go Ada anyway, but go Leon. So, with that being said, yeah, Dragon Ball Z, Drama Ball Z, final edition. We're not having GT. We're not having Super, even though Super is awesome. And there are moments of GT that I like. We finally ended it. So, oh my God, you are sadly correct on that. So with that being said, guys, y'all have a good night. Make sure you like this video. Actually, let me check. Series finale. Let me see real quick. I'm very curious. Oh, okay. Not bad. So, later, man. Later. So anyway, y'all take care. Till next time. Yep, Drama Ball. At least for my end. With YouTube, the drama will never end. But at least for my end. I finally got what I wanted. The MJF CM Punk saga has concluded, unlike how it should have concluded in AEW, and it concluded with me walking away with the world title. I am still the world champion of YouTube. Oh, I'm just having fun here. All for laughs. All for laughs. Anyway, guys, I will catch y'all later. Till next time, guys, be well, stay safe, and ta-ta for now. Peace.